My name is Juana Warner. I'm 27, and if you glanced at our family photo wall, you'd swear I was adopted by accident and tolerated out of habit. Big smiles, Christmas sweaters, perfectly staged teeth. Then there's me, clipped at the shoulder or hovering at the frame's edge like a lighting mistake no one bothered to fix. Invisible wasn't just a feeling in our house, it was a role. My older sister, Kenzie, performed daughter like a sponsored post. She was the brand. Straight teeth, perfected hair, voice calibrated for applause. She could sell sand in a desert and call it an oasis. When she turned 18, she got a brand new car, a furnished condo with skyline views, and a seed fund my parents minted from quiet investments Grandpa Will built by clipping coupons like it was a sport. $10 million. Kenzie called it starter courage. I called it math. What did I get? A used bike with a chain that squealed and a mug that said hustle harder, handed to me at high school graduation like a punchline wrapped in ceramic. I didn't throw a fit. I learned the choreography. Stay small, work harder, don't make waves. I paid my way through trade school, loaded trucks on night shifts, and watched Kenzie live stream her entrepreneurial rebirth from Bali at sunrise. I sent birthday texts. Some years, they replied. The only person who actually saw me, was Grandpa Will. He wasn't loud. He was black coffee and crosswords, early mornings and dry sarcasm. I went to his house every Sunday. He remembered my favorite gum. He noticed the work boots I wore through in 4 months. He knew I hated small talk but devoured mystery novels. Once, after a long walk, he pressed a tiny note into my palm. You see people. That's rare. Keep seeing. I folded it into my wallet and carried it everywhere, a little shield in ink. When he got sick, the air thinned, slower visits, fewer jokes. Kenzie took hospital bed selfies with captions like, cherish every moment, while his chest still rose and fell under the blanket. I brought gum, read chapters aloud, and stayed past visiting hours, because the nurse pretended not to notice. When he passed, I didn't cry where anyone could see. I just took a week off from the warehouse and waited for a call about the will, a letter, an email, anything. Silence. Then one morning, I scrolled past Kenzie in a cream dress, holding a champagne flute, my mother beaming beside her. Caption: bittersweet day. Goodbye to the past. Hello to the future. Hashtag grateful. Hashtag family first. Hashtag new chapters. Behind them? A law firm logo, a leather folder, Grandpa's favorite painting. They'd read the will, without me. Something in my chest didn't shatter. It cooled. Not anger, not even sadness. Just a clean, bright switch that flipped from please include me to I'll include myself. I threw on a jacket and drove. No plan, no brushed hair, just one mission. Show up. The building was glass and quiet and designed to make you feel like your shoes were too loud and your grief was off-brand. The receptionist asked if she could help. Her eyes did the calculus of my flannel and steel-toe boots. I'm Juana Warner, I said. I wasn't invited, but I'm family. She disappeared. 5 minutes later, the door opened and my family arranged themselves like an ad campaign. Kenzie crossed one leg, chin tilted as if the room owed her light. My mother wore pearls like armor. Dad managed surprise, then annoyance, then the exact look he used when I asked for help with college textbooks. Aunt Marcia adjusted her purse. Cousin Jess scrolled. Oh, Kenzie said, you came. Didn't know I wasn't supposed to, I answered, voice steady as a level. It's basically done, she smiled. Signatures and logistics. Then I won't take long. I sat. That didn't fit the script. Dad cleared his throat, his way of auditioning for patriarch. Before he could deliver the speech, a man in a gray suit walked in. Calm, precise, eyes that had seen this play before. He set a leather binder on the table and looked right at me. Ms. Warner, I'm glad you made it. Kenzie's smile cracked. Mom blinked. The lawyer flipped a page. Per Mr. William P. Langston's written instruction, the full content of his testament is not considered valid until all named individuals are present. All named? Kenzie's voice went sugar sharp. So Juana is named in the will. He adjusted his glasses. You're going to want to sit. I was already sitting. Still, the floor tilted an inch. He opened a pale yellow envelope. Grandpa's handwriting crawled across it like lightning, messy, decisive. He read, "To my family, and to the one person in this room who ever looked me in the eyes without expecting a check at the end, this is for you." Kenzie exhaled a laugh that clattered onto the table. "I watched dinners become performances, love become leverage, and blood become bargaining chips," the lawyer continued. "I kept quiet, maybe too quiet, but I'm done playing nice." Mom reached for water. The sound of ice sliding against glass was loud enough to count as a comment. "Everything I built goes to the person who understands that wealth isn't a spotlight, it's a responsibility. That person is Juana." Silence fell, the thick kind that makes you hear your own pulse. The lawyer set the letter down, expression steady. "The entire estate, primary residence, investment portfolio, vacation properties, and cash reserves has been legally transferred to Juana Elise Warner." Dad lifted a hand, like school. "What about the $10 million we already—" "The seed fund was structured through your accounts," the lawyer said, gentle but surgical. "The primary estate was secured independently by Mr. Langston." Kenzie stood so fast her chair hiccuped. "You're kidding." "I'm the lawyer," he said. "I don't kid." He turned to me with the folder. "We'll need your signature, now, or we can schedule a separate meeting." I could feel the room noticing me for the first time in years, like a camera lens finally focusing on the supposed background. A ridiculous thought popped into my head. I wished I'd brushed my hair. Then I didn't care. I signed where he pointed. My hand didn't shake. By the time we left, the sky was a pale, threatening gray. Kenzie had already stormed out, her heels clacking like punctuation. Dad stared at the carpet fibers, searching for a version of events where I'd apologize for existing. Mom hugged me with the warmth of a refrigerator. The lawyer closed his case. "For what it's worth," he said quietly, "your grandfather was proud of you. Said you listened more than you talked." I nodded because my throat had turned into glass. Outside, my phone detonated. Group chat pings, missed calls, a cousin's aunts with unsolicited prayers. One text pulsed at the top of my screen from a name that steadied me. Caleb Hart. "Caleb, saw the posts. Are you okay? I'm at the coffee shop around the corner. If you want quiet plus a cinnamon roll, say the word." I stared at the law firm's mirrored glass, catching a ripple of my own reflection. Hair messier than usual, eyes clearer than ever. I typed back. "Me, I'm okay, and I'm done being invisible." "Caleb, good, I'm here, no pressure." Also, heads up, Kenzie is connected to a PR friend. Might try to spin this. A name drifted through my memory, something I'd heard secondhand when Caleb and I were still careful with our pasts. Tessa Quinn, the ex with a ring light, the one who knew how to make anything on message. I slid the phone into my pocket. Noted. I drove to Grandpa's house. The key turned with a soft click I swear I felt in my ribs. The air smelled like lemon polish and newspaper ink and mint, the exact recipe for being seen. The puzzle on the kitchen table waited with 4 pieces missing, edges turned upward like small, patient hands. His mug rested upside down by the sink. A magnet on the fridge read, "Work hard, say less." I traced the table's grain with my fingertips and let the quiet demand honesty. 31 unread messages, 2 voicemails, a link. Kenzie, candle lit and tragic. Some people steal more than money. They steal legacy. #rebuilding, #truthwillin'. A GoFundMe link in her bio. Help me relaunch what was mine. $50,000. I didn't respond. I screenshotted. I made a folder on my phone. Archives, Kenzie. Twilight pooled across the porch. I took Grandpa's favorite chair and wrapped my hands around his chipped mug, empty but warm from memory. For years I mistook silence for love, because silence felt safer than rejection. Tonight, silence felt like space, to breathe, to choose, to stop shrinking. A car I knew too well turned into the driveway. Beige SUV. My mother stepped out, holding a paper bag like a peace treaty. "I brought muffins," she said, wearing a smile laminated for public use. "You don't bake," I said. "They're warm. Microwaves do that." She laughed too brightly. "I didn't invite her in. She sat anyway." "It still feels like he's here," she whispered, eyes on the porch swing. I gave her the quiet she wanted from me, my whole life. "Kenzie's hurting. She's fundraising," I said, with a photo where she wet her eyelashes on purpose. She feels blindsided. I was blindsided when you held a catered will reading without me. I kept my voice level. And before you say it wasn't intentional, there were matching napkins. I was trying to hold the family together. By pretending one of your kids didn't exist? Her mouth trembled. Juana, this isn't you. You're not this cold. This is me, I said gently. The me I had to become so you'd stop mistaking silence for consent. She stood, clutching the bag as if it could prove something. If your grandfather were here. He is, I said, and for a second I felt him. The crossword pen tapping, the porch boards warming under winter sun. Just not to you. She left the muffins on the step. I threw them away, still sealed. Night thickened. Somewhere, Kenzie posted another quote graphic about quiet betrayals. The comments cheered. The algorithm applauded. I didn't. I sat in the stillness and let the next move take shape. In the hallway closet, behind winter scarves, a cardboard box stared at me with a label in Grandpa's lightning handwriting. Just in case. I slid it out, set it on the table, and lifted the lid. Inside, paper stacks clipped in sections, envelopes, receipts with dates circled, printouts of emails, and at the bottom, a flash drive. Silver. Scratched. Labeled in block letters. The video. I didn't plug it in. Not yet. I let the porch light glow like a small, faithful moon, and breathed until my pulse slowed. My phone buzzed again. Caleb. Caleb. Still at the coffee shop if you need me, but you've got this. Me. I think I do. In the darkness, the house felt like a hand closing around mine. Tomorrow, I would decide what to press, post or play. Tonight, I let the truth sit where it was safest. With me. The morning after the will reading, I woke to the sound of my phone vibrating across the kitchen counter like it wanted to escape the drama. Notifications stacked on top of each other, mentions, tags, new posts, and, of course, one from Kenzie. When family turns on you, remember, diamonds are made under pressure. Had healing, rise again. A diamond? She'd just lost a fortune and gained a hashtag. I scrolled past a photo of her gazing into sunlight with a tear she must have applied from a dropper. The comments were everything you'd expect. Stay strong, Queen. You'll rebuild bigger. Some people show their true colors after funerals. I didn't reply. I just muttered, color me done, and opened a window. The house still smelled like him, lemon polish, old newspaper, and the faint trace of pipe tobacco. I ran my hand across the puzzle he never finished. One corner missing, like a sentence left hanging. Then my phone buzzed again, this time a DM. From Tessa Quinn. The name froze me. Caleb's ex. The PR girl. The one who'd once gone viral for turning her own breakup into a self-love campaign. Tessa. Hi, Juana. Hope this isn't weird. Kenzie asked if I'd reach out. She's struggling with the optics. I know you probably need space, but if you ever want to reframe the narrative, I can help keep things civil online. Reframe the narrative. Translation. Turn my grief into her storyline. I typed, then deleted. Tell her to choke on her own hashtags. Instead, I replied, me. Thanks, but my life isn't a brand partnership. A second later, seen. No reply. I could practically feel Kenzie pacing behind her phone somewhere, planning a new emotional upload. That afternoon, I met Caleb at the coffee shop. He looked at me like I was the only person in the room who hadn't lost their mind. You look like you haven't slept, he said. I haven't, I admitted. Let me guess, Kenzie's building her redemption arc? She's halfway there. He slid a mug towards me. Drink. You're not fighting her content. You're protecting your peace. I wanted to believe that, but peace felt like a luxury. I'd inherited a house, yes, but with it came ghosts and gossip. When I got home, Mom's beige SUV was back in the driveway. I sighed. Round 2. She stepped out, carrying another paper bag. Like muffins could undo decades. Juana, she began, I thought maybe we could start fresh. Have dinner, just us girls. Mom, we're not in a Hallmark movie. Her face fell, but she didn't leave. You used to love family dinners. I used to think I had a family. The words came out sharper than intended, slicing through the afternoon air. She blinked, wounded, but said softly, Kenzie's hurting. She's monetizing. She feels betrayed. I turned. So do I. You threw a catered will reading and didn't think I needed to be there. There were matching napkins, Mom. She flinched like I'd slapped her. That was Kenzie's idea. Of course it was. I just wanted to keep things calm. Calm? I laughed under my breath. You kept things controlled. There's a difference. Her eyes glistened. I know I made mistakes, but you're still my daughter. Then act like it. She reached out, but I stepped back. For a second, she seemed smaller, deflated. If your grandfather were here— He is, I said again, softer this time. You just can't hear him anymore. She left without another word. The muffins, still warm, hit the trash before she turned the corner. That night, Kenzie's latest post hit my feed. A tearful piano clip captioned, "Some inherit houses, others inherit silence. Guess which one hurts more? # truth will shine, # broken, not bitter." I rolled my eyes. Silence didn't hurt. It healed. But I still took screenshots, dozens, just in case. I named the folder The Archives. Kenzie. Around midnight, Caleb called. "You okay?" Define okay. I saw Kenzie's post. She tagged you indirectly with that quote. "Let her tag ghosts. I'm not playing this game." "That's good," he said, "because she's not fighting fair. Tessa just followed me again." "Seriously?" "Yep, I think she's fishing for a statement." I sank into Grandpa's armchair. "Then let her fish. I've got bait she doesn't know about." He was quiet for a beat. "Juana, you found something, didn't you?" I hesitated. "A flash drive. Grandpa labeled it the video." Caleb's voice dropped. "What's on it?" "I don't know. Not yet." "Then don't rush it," he said. "Truth doesn't need choreography." The words settled deep. Grandpa would have liked him. After we hung up, I sat on the porch, moonlight pooling on the old wood, and stared at that little flash drive on the table beside my coffee cup. It looked harmless, small, silver, silent, but it felt heavy, like it carried every unspoken sentence Grandpa never got to say aloud. Somewhere out there, Kenzie was curating her grief. Tessa was drafting statements, and my parents were probably debating how to fix the optics. I smiled faintly. Let them. Tomorrow I'd open the drive. But tonight, I let the wind move through the trees, soft and sure, whispering a single thought that calmed every nerve I had left. They built their story. Now it's time for mine. The next morning, the rain sounded like static. Soft, persistent, and oddly familiar. Grandpa used to say rain cleans out the noise. Standing in his kitchen now, I hoped he was right. The flash drive sat on the table where I'd left it, daring me to plug it in. I wasn't ready. Not yet. Instead, I started sorting through the rest of the box labeled, "Just in case." There were bank statements with circles in red pen, printouts of emails, even old receipts taped to notes in Grandpa's handwriting. Keep record. Truth needs proof. He had cataloged everything. Loan transfers, property documents, tax statements that contradicted Kenzie's gift fund. I realized slowly Grandpa hadn't just written a will, he'd built a paper fortress around me. Then, under a folder marked Miscellaneous, I found a small envelope. My name, Juana. Inside was a single sheet of lined paper and one sentence. "If they come for you, let them. Then show them who fed them." I sat there for a long minute, reading it over and over. His words were always so few, yet they hit harder than paragraphs. My phone buzzed again. A new notification. This time, a post from Kenzie tagged with Tessa Quinn PR. "Sometimes silence isn't strength. It's guilt. I've decided to speak my truth, guided by my dear friend at Tessa Quinn PR. Family wounds are deep, but I choose transparency and grace. # family healing, # my side." There it was, the spin. A story highlight appeared on her profile titled The Will. I clicked before I could stop myself. A 10-minute video of Kenzie crying in perfect lighting, voice trembling just enough for sympathy. I was there for Grandpa every step of the way. I held his hand through the worst. I think grief can confuse people. It can make them forget who really showed up. She never said my name. She didn't have to. The comments were a war zone, half supportive, half skeptical. Someone wrote, "Then why wasn't your sister at the will reading?" Kenzie replied, "Some people choose absence." My jaw clenched so tight it hurt. I locked my phone and set it down face first. Then I heard gravel crunching outside. Through the curtain, I saw a familiar car, silver, spotless, parked too close to the porch. Kenzie. I didn't move to open the door. She rang the bell twice, then called out, voice bright and fake sweet. "Juana, you home? I brought coffee." I opened the door halfway, blocking the entrance. "You must be lost. The influencer retreat is 2 towns over." She smiled, wide and camera-ready. "Funny. Can I come in?" "No." "Oh, come on," she said, brushing past me anyway. "We're sisters." The scent of her perfume, expensive, artificial, filled the air as she walked through the living room like she owned it. "So this is what Grandpa left you," she said, scanning everything. "It's quaint." "You've been here before." "Yeah, when I was 12, I remember the candy bowl." "It's still there," I said, Help yourself, if you remember how. She laughed thinly. You're still sarcastic. Cute. What do you want, Kenzie? She sat on the couch, crossing her legs like a talk show guest. To talk. To fix this. The press is starting to twist things. I figured if we present a united front, it'll look better for both of us. There's no we here, I said. Her eyes hardened. You think you're the only one who lost him? No, I think you lost him before he died. She flinched. You've changed. I stopped apologizing for existing. You inherited everything, she snapped. You didn't even fight for it, and you still got it all. I folded my arms. You got 10 million, a head start, the world cheering. And I got a used bike and silence. We're not equal, Kenzie, not even close. She stood up suddenly. I came here to make peace. No, you came to manage optics. Her nostrils flared. You're going to regret this. I already regret opening the door. She grabbed her purse, heading for the exit. People talk, Juana. They'll turn on you. They always do. I smiled faintly. Then I'll let them. I've got the truth, remember? She paused mid-step. What truth? Wouldn't you like to know? Her lips parted. Just enough fear flickered there for me to see it. Then she left, heels hitting the porch like gunshots. The moment her car disappeared down the road, I locked the door, exhaled, and sank into the couch. My phone buzzed again. Caleb. Saw her new video. You okay? Me. She showed up here. Caleb. Want me to come over? Me. Not yet. I've got something to do first. I picked up the flash drive. For a moment I hesitated, then plugged it into Grandpa's old laptop. A folder popped up instantly. One file, Grandpa/Final MP4. I clicked play. The screen flickered, then stabilized. Grandpa appeared. Same plaid shirt, same calm eyes, sitting right in this very room. His voice filled the air, steady and warm. If you're watching this, Juana, it means the noise has already started. You'll be hearing things. Lies, mostly. So here's the truth. My hand flew to my mouth. He wasn't talking to everyone. He was talking to me. I built my fortune quietly so no one could say they made me, and I'm leaving it to you because you were the only one who didn't treat me like a wallet. The others, well, they performed love when cameras were on. You gave it when no one saw. He took a long breath, leaned closer to the camera. But if they try to twist this, if they call you ungrateful or cruel, don't explain yourself. Let them talk. Then show them proof. It's all in the box. Every transfer, every lie. They'll hang themselves with their own signatures. He gave a tiny smirk. And when that day comes, post this video. Don't add a caption. Don't argue. Just let truth breathe. The recording ended. I sat there, shaking, half from shock, half from gratitude. He'd known. Somehow he'd seen this storm years before it started. Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance. I looked at the rain on the window pane, slow and steady. Caleb texted again. Whatever you're thinking of doing, make sure you do it on your terms. I typed back. Exactly, it's time to let them talk. The video file waited on the desktop like a weapon wrapped in patience. I wouldn't post it tonight. I'd let them build their lies first, brick by brick. Because Grandpa was right. When they finally came for me, I'd show them who fed them. 2 days passed. 2 long, loud, performative days where my family turned grief into content. By Thursday morning, Kenzie's campaign was in full swing. She'd posted a montage, childhood clips, piano music, slow zooms, and captions that said, "Truth heals, but silence wounds." Every frame looked choreographed, her tear dab in perfect lighting, her sigh timed to the piano's swell. I kept scrolling. Mom had joined in too, reposting it with a caption. Family is forever, no matter the misunderstandings. And Dad commented, proud of both my girls. Let's rise above the noise. Above the noise. They were the noise. I closed my phone, took a breath, and looked at the laptop screen. Grandpa's paused video waiting in silence, his kind eyes frozen mid-frame. Let them talk, he'd said. Then show them truth. So I waited. I watched the lies multiply. The comments were starting to split. Half the internet believed Kenzie. The other half wasn't buying it. One post read, "Didn't she get 10 million already?" Another, "If she's so honest, why block her sister?" Kenzie replied to one comment with, "It's not about money, it's about legacy." That word again, legacy. I took a sip of coffee, staring at the wall where Grandpa's photo hung, him standing beside his fishing boat. Half smile, sun cutting across his face. He looked content, grounded. Not rich, just real. That was the legacy, not what they were selling. By noon, the decision was made. I transferred the video file to my phone. My hands didn't even shake this time. Before posting, I texted Caleb. Me. It's time. Caleb. You sure? Once you hit post, there's no going back. Me. He told me when to do it. Now feels right. Caleb. Then I'm with you. Always. Those two words, I'm with you, hit deeper than any inheritance could. I walked to Grandpa's study, dimmed the lights, and set up his old projector on the desk. It took a few tries to get it running, but when the film flickered onto the wall, it felt almost spiritual. Dust floated in the beam like slow snow. His voice filled the room again, calm and commanding. If you're seeing this, it means the lawyers read my will, and I can imagine the noise. Let's clear the air. He started naming them, every single one. To Kenzie, you love my money more than my stories. You staged 3 photo shoots in my kitchen without asking. You told a podcast I was your distant relative. You called me outdated at Thanksgiving. You're not getting the house. I gasped softly, even though I'd already heard that tone in him before. Gentle, but surgical. To Marcia, you came once in 5 years. You told people I was paranoid when I said my mail was being opened. Spoiler, it was. My chest tightened. To David and Elaine Warner, my parents. You said I was senile because I wouldn't co-sign your second mortgage. I wasn't senile, I was disappointed. And then, finally, he looked straight into the camera. It was like he was looking straight through time, right at me. And to Juana, you never asked for anything. You sat on this porch and listened to stories I'd told 100 times. You brought groceries when I couldn't drive. You never needed to post it for proof. You just cared. That's worth more than any inheritance. I covered my mouth, tears hot against my palms. If they call you selfish, remember this. The truth isn't always loud, but it's permanent. I chose you, not out of guilt, not out of pity, out of pride. And if they say they're owed something, remind them I left them exactly what they gave me. Nothing. He smiled. Now go live, kiddo, and repaint the shed. It's still an eyesore. The video ended. Silence again. But this time it wasn't empty. It was sacred. I took a breath, steadied my hand, and hit upload. No caption, no hashtags. Just Grandpa's raw video. His voice, his truth, his lightning. Then I set my phone down and waited. It took less than 15 minutes. My notifications exploded like fireworks. Oh my God, he exposed them. Not the podcast call-out. Kenzie, you lied on camera? Respect to Juana. Staying silent this long was power. Kenzie's page went into meltdown. Within an hour, her GoFundMe was flagged for misrepresentation. Aunt Marcia deleted her open letter post. Dad texted once. Dad, we need to talk. This has gone too far. I stared at it, then typed back. Me, you had 20 years to talk. Then I blocked him. Outside, thunder rolled low and heavy. Rain started again, slow, soft, forgiving. Caleb called. You okay? I think so, I said, half laughing through tears. He did all the talking for me. I watched it, he said. He was proud of you. You could hear it in his voice. For the first time in days, I smiled. He was planning this the whole time. That's called love in its most patient form, Caleb said quietly. I walked to the porch, watching water drip from the roof onto the steps. Across the yard, the shed leaned slightly to the left, the same eyesore Grandpa joked about. I guess I should paint that shed, I said. Caleb chuckled. I'll bring brushes. That night, I sat under the porch light again, watching comments flood in like waves. Every hateful rumor drowned beneath Grandpa's truth. One comment stood out. Silence doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes it's the sound of someone winning quietly. For the first time, I felt it. Peace, not victory. Peace because I didn't need to defend myself anymore. Peace because truth had done it for me. By the next week, the storm had burned itself out. The internet moved on, as it always does, and all that remained were the quiet echoes of what had been said, seen, and proven. My name stopped trending. Kenzie's GoFundMe was permanently removed, and Grandpa's video found its way onto news pages with headlines like, "The Inheritance Confession That Silenced a Family." But here, in the house he'd left me, life finally felt still. I repainted the shed first, just like he asked. Pale blue, his favorite color, the same shade as the lake he used to fish on Sunday mornings. Caleb came over to help, humming under his breath while the paint dried in the sun. "You're really doing it," he said, leaning on the fence, shirt spattered with blue dots. "Yeah," I smiled. "Feels right. Like finishing a sentence he started." He nodded. Grandpa would have liked this color. "I think he picked it on purpose," I said. "Soft, but stubborn, like him. We laughed quietly. The air was warm, clean, peaceful. Later that night, when Caleb left, I sat at Grandpa's old desk, sorting through the last of the documents from the box. That's when I found another envelope. Small, sealed, labeled simply, final note, conditional. Inside was a short letter, notarized, addressed to the executor. To the Warner family, a portion of the Langston Trust shall remain unclaimed until the following conditions are met by Kenzie Warner. The inheritance will unlock only after the recipient completes 1,000 hours of verified volunteer work, unpaid, in any cause serving others without personal branding, marketing, or sponsorship. I stared at it, smiling slowly. Grandpa hadn't just planned for truth, he'd planned for redemption. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a notification from a blocked number. Against my better judgment, I opened it. Kenzie. He humiliated me, Juana. You could have stopped this. Me. He told the truth. Kenzie. I'm broke. Sponsors dropped me. I might lose the condo. Me. Then maybe it's time to work for something real. A pause. Then another text. Kenzie. He left me nothing. Me. Read the trust conditions. He left you exactly what you earned, and a chance to earn more. She didn't reply. But for the first time, I hoped she might actually read it. 2 days later, I saw her post a photo. No makeup, no filters, standing outside a local food pantry. Caption. Starting small, maybe that's where truth begins. #volunteer, #humbled. No hashtags about legacy, no lighting setup, just real light. Maybe it was the first step. By the weekend, I decided to host a gathering. Not a family reunion, something better. I invited Grandpa's neighbors, the mailman who used to leave his packages by the porch, the woman from the diner who always saved him a slice of lemon pie, people who had actually been there. Caleb helped set up string lights across the yard, his laughter blending with the sound of cicadas. As the grill smoked and laughter filled the air, I realized something. This was family too. Not by blood, but by consistency. Around dusk, one of the older neighbors raised a glass. To the man who built a legacies out of honesty, and the granddaughter who kept it clean. Everyone clapped softly, glasses glinting in the fading light. My throat tightened. I whispered to myself, "You'd like this, Grandpa. No filters, no performances." When the last guest left, I stayed on the porch swing, the one that creaked just slightly off rhythm. The stars came out one by one, like small witnesses. Caleb joined me, 2 mugs of coffee in hand. "So, what now?" he asked. I smiled, leaning back against the wood. "Now I live, quietly, like he taught me." He nodded, his voice low. "And them?" "They'll figure it out," I said. He gave them the blueprint. Work, give, earn peace, the hard way. Caleb took my hand. "That's a good ending." "It's not an ending," I corrected softly. "It's just the right kind of beginning." The porch light hummed, crickets sang, and somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled. Not the kind that warned of storms, but the kind that sounded like applause. I closed my eyes and whispered, "Thank you, Grandpa." Then I smiled at Caleb, at the house, at the world finally quiet enough to hear myself think. The truth didn't make me rich. It made me free.